I wish I could say that Bobby and I were close friends. Even when I barely knew him, and even after the death of his best friend Judith a few years ago, he always used to be so sweet. It was hard not to like him. The only time he had ever fought anyone was when he was being picked on by those assholes down the street from my house, and he tried to ignore them until one of them said something about Judith, and he beat him to a bloody pulp, which was understandable. My friend Anna had died recently, and I met him at her wake. He sat next to me and listened to Anna's family and close friends say their last words. I hated myself for not being there for her through her sickness, and hated myself even more for not being able to cry. I couldn't say anything to her family. I didn't deserve to speak to them. I didn't deserve to be there. But Bobby put an arm around me and told me that she was in a better place now. He made me realize that I really did love her, and his warmth and compassion made me feel not so alone. His warmth was so rare to find. Bobby was so friendly and outspoken, you see. He had so many friends that cared for him. I don't know what I would have done if he wasn't there for me for the next few weeks following her death. He checked up on me quite often and forced me to hang out with him, grab a bite to eat, go to the movies. All I wanted to do was die, and he knew how I felt. He went through the same thing. I knew that I'd let him down if I ever tried to end it, and I didn't want to let anyone else down. The pain eventually started to get easier to deal with, and with Bobby's help, I began to feel happiness again. His warmth, a warmth so rare, was the only thing keeping my heart from freezing over. The changes were subtle at first, as they always are. He always seemed preoccupied in the beginning, like he was meant to be somewhere else. He started to not talk as much as usual when we hung out. The bags under his sweet brown eyes became more noticeable as time went on. He began to make excuses about where he was for hours at a time. Some of his friends began to come to me and ask me where he was when I was just as confused as they were. "Bobby, what's going on? You know you can talk to me." "Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about." How long did he expect me to believe that? After endless questioning, he eventually broke and told me to meet him by the big tree that he and Judith used to swing on when they were kids. I thought that he'd never want to hang around with the tree again, but he was sitting down underneath it, waiting for me. I've never seen that look in his eyes before. That cold, evil look. He was smiling though. He was still trying to be his old self, even though he was too far gone. Both of us knew it, but I didn't want to say it. Didn't want to believe it. The first words that came out of his mouth only made it more true. "I wanted to hold off telling you until you started hearing them too, but you're just too damn persistent." He was smiling, but he wasn't happy. He couldn't be happy anymore. I hated myself for not noticing it sooner. He was hiding his own pain and anger for so long, letting it grow. I began to cry because I knew that I had let him down, like I had let Anna down. I knew there was no going back, that he was beyond help. The sun's rays bounced off of his pale, gaunt face that used to radiate with its own warmth, a warmth that I'll never feel again. Please, Bobby, this isn't you. This isn't right. Judith wouldn't want this. Something about him changed at the sound of her name. You don't think I know what Judith wants? She still talks to me. Anna does too. They tell me all kinds of things. Judith kept telling me about how much she missed me, so I had to dig her up out of her grave. Had to take her head. Had to. She's much better off in the ground by this tree. So many good memories by this tree. I come up here to dig her head up, stare at her, talk to her. You're sitting right on top of it, you know. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept crying and shivering in fear. He just kept smiling, as if everything was going to be okay. Anna wants to be by the tree too. She wants to talk to the both of us here. Nobody but you and me. Don't worry, her head won't rot too quickly. The sun had finally set. We must have sat there for hours. I knew that he was insane. Too far gone. Too far gone. But I couldn't help but contemplate it. He walked to a shed a few feet away and grabbed a shovel. He told me to get out of the way and started to dig. When I eventually heard a thump as he pounded the shovel into the dirt, I cringed, realizing that it was Judith's skull. When he bent over to pull her head out of the hole and had a fistful of her dark hair, I turned and ran as fast as I could. I never saw Bobby again after that. I wanted to tell someone, but just couldn't for some reason. His warmth was a lie. It was just a cover for the sickness beneath. I wish I could say that him and I were close friends, that I didn't let him down. But that'd just be a lie, wouldn't it?